Now, in today's video, we have quite a bit to talk about. There has been a mass amount of movie trailers that have dropped this last week, and a lot of them seem to be sequels that we've been waiting for quite some time. A brand spanking new movie that just hit theaters this week that is getting, let's say, mixed reviews, some hot gossip in the celebrity pool, and while we are saying goodbye to one Batman, are we saying hello to a new Batman? Before we do all that, though, let's get one thing straight. I don't like talking without a drink in my hand. And because in today's video, we're going to be talking about just a buttload of sequels, the cocktail that we're making today is going to be promptly called The Sequel. This show is appropriately sponsored by Unoriginality. Comes in all shapes, forms, and sizes. And lastly, we're going to garnish with this very small, definitely not a clementine, but an orange peel, so we could have a little bit of the essence of this drink. And here we have our sequel. Without a doubt, that definitely tastes like the second movie in a trilogy. First, let's go ahead and talk about a movie review. Now, the Minecraft movie just came out this week, and it looks like it's a consensus that no, this movie will not be winning the Oscar for the Best Picture of the Year. And while unfortunately it's not going to be winning the award for Best Picture of the Year, it is being reviewed as a very fun and very watchable movie for both adults and kids alike. Now, you do have places like Rotten Tomato that have a little bit more of a difficult rating scale. So yes, the movie is showing like it is probably a below average movie, but the popcorn meter, meaning the amount of people that go enjoy this movie for the fun of it, actually is really, really high. So is this movie a complete flop and a complete waste of time? Absolutely not. This looks to be like a movie that's going to recoup its budget and on top of that, be something that is going to be a fun watch for both adults and kids alike. Jason Momoa and Jack Black just fucking around in Block World, just having a couple of laughs and being goofy as shit. Yeah, I'm on board with that every day of the week, maybe even twice on Sunday. And because this movie has probably somewhat of a similar audience to that of the live action version of Snow White, you know that that movie is absolutely fucked and is no longer going to be able to recoup much more of its budget because now it's 2 weeks in and people, I think, have lost their luster with the actual live action version of Snow White. Not that they ever really had it, but that's just Snow White catching a stray from me. End of the day, final analysis. You should probably go watch the Minecraft movie at least once. Now, before we talk about some upcoming movie trailers, we got to talk about a little bit of hot gossip that's going on. And when I get drinking, I can be a bitch. A couple of the hottest actors in Hollywood, Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, were seen having dinner together, and everyone is freaking the fuck out ever since she disengaged from her fiancé. Breaking news, two incredibly hot and sexy actors went out and had dinner. Absolutely wild. Could you imagine that baby? Oh my god, it would just come out, eyes and teeth and sex appeal. It would be glowing from her hoo-ha. And that's probably the last time I'll talk about Sydney Sweeney's hoo-ha. And that's all the time we have for Juicy Hot Gossip. Now let's go ahead and talk about some trailers that just dropped this week. And the first one on my list is going to be Tron Area, which seems to be a sequel to the Tron Legacy movie that came out a few years ago. Now, I say seems to be because when you look at the trailer, it doesn't really give you a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of dialogue, and it doesn't seem to show anything from the Tron Legacy movie, except for Jeff Bridges, who is playing the exact same character once again. Now, this sequel, if that's what we're going to go ahead and call it, has a little bit of a different take than obviously the Tron Legacy movie because now they're entering the real world. The game, the motorbikes, everything is entering our real world, which I didn't really know that was a thing. I didn't know it was possible for it to do that. The motorbikes look cool as hell. They're able to apparently split cars in half. So I honestly don't know what this movie is going to really entail outside of the fact that now we're bringing this virtual world into reality. Outside of Jeff Bridges, it also stars Jared Leto, who's kind of had a rough go in some movies here these last few years. He hasn't been really striking the iron quite as hot as he was when he was doing Dallas Buyers Club. But, you know, this one could obviously help recoup his star power. He needs something to help him because people still cannot shut up about his Joker adaptation. We get it. It wasn't that great. Hopefully Barry Keoghan can save this thing. The next trailer we saw drop this week was again a sequel, and it is none other than Megan 2.0. Now, I am very glad that we actually saw this trailer because a few months ago we saw the teaser for this movie getting its sequel, and I'm not going to lie. I did not say very nice things about it. I just didn't think it was a sequel that we needed. We've seen this story over and over again. It's a robot. She is supposed to protect humans. She goes bad. She starts killing humans. It's just kind of overplayed again and again and again. But then I saw this trailer drop on us and I thought, oh my, I may have been wrong. Megan 2.0 looks to be taking a completely different route from the original movie, and it seems to have two robots now fighting to the death, blood sport style. I'm here for it. And not only that, it's got a mix between horror, action, sci fi, sprinkle in a little bit of comedy, and you got yourself a completely different outcome for what I thought was going to be coming down the pipeline here. Now, I would have watched Megan 2.0 regardless of what I thought of these trailers because I did see the original and I wanted to give this movie a shot and see if maybe I was wrong about it. But now I'm genuinely excited for this movie and for this character and the storyline. Who knows? Maybe they make a whole fucking universe out of this, and now we just have Megan toys running around, and everyone's just freaking out about Megan and Britney Spears because that's the soundtrack, apparently. I think I did it again. But all in all, I'm very excited for this movie now, and if it doesn't do well because I flip flopped so many times, I'll probably cry myself to sleep again. The other trailer that dropped this week, and once again is a sequel, is none other than The Accountant 2, starring Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal. Now, I really enjoyed the first account with Ben Affleck. I thought it was a fun and interesting take on a protagonist that's not like your typical badass one-liner protagonist, with his high developed autistic ability, he's able to see patterns that other people aren't able to see, and therefore enables to help him kick a little more ass. Now, at the very end of the Accountant movie, he sees Jon Bernthal, who is his brother, that you kind of see flashbacks of throughout the entire movie. So I am glad that this looks to be the story that they're going to go ahead and hold on to, where those two come together now in a situation where they have to go ahead and kick the shit out of some people. A little bit of brotherly love, banter back and forth, lots of gunplay, it looks like. And where the first one was a little bit of a slow burn, not quite heavy on the action, this one looks to be a little bit more of that high octane shoot 'em up, big badass kind of, production that we come to expect from some of these movies. But I'm glad this one got a sequel. Honestly, I've been wondering what old Christian Wolf's been doing with that big sexy brain of his. And the last trailer, which wasn't quite a trailer but more of an extended version, was the Superman trailer. Now, when this came out this week, it was just more of what you originally saw in the first look/teaser when Krypto comes up and he's kind of fucking with Superman and he's just being a dog who's happy to see his owner and being all playful and funny. Really, all they show you is that, and then off in the distance, you do see the Fortress of Solitude, which looks very fortressy and very solitude. Big diamond icicles popping out of the ground like daisies. You also get the first look at the Kryptonian robots that are in his Fortress of Solitude that help him and heal him, and they just kind of go back and forth and don't really have to be a whole lot of emotion, it looks like. So I don't know what kind of a role they're going to play, to be completely honest. But after that, you kind of just see a whole lot of what you saw in the first original trailer look. So nothing really new there. Just a couple of snippets, maybe just to show the personality of this movie, I think, is more or less what this extended look was supposed to do. But who knows? And sadly, we had to say goodbye to a very iconic actor, and that is Val Kilmer. Now, Val Kilmer, as you may or may not know, has been battling cancer and the struggles that go along with it for many, many years now. I believe he had his voice box removed and or he just wasn't able to speak very well after the throat cancer had hit him so hard. Sadly, after many years of battling and complications, he is now amongst the stars in the stars. Big movies you'll always remember Val Kilmer for, things like The Heat. He was Iceman in Top Gun, and many, many other really good movies that we could mention for the rest of this video. One of them, of course, portraying Batman in Batman Forever, which to me, being one of the original 4 movies, is kind of a big deal to me because it's something that I still hold near and dear to my heart. He will always forever be one of my Batmans when it comes to seeing the evolution of this character play out from time and time again. Val Kilmer, this one's for you. You are and for always ever will be a legend in my eyes. Which segues me into my last point of this video, and is that, did we get a new Batman? It is being reported that James Gunn has cast Brandon Sklenar. You probably know him as Spencer Dutton from the hit series 1923, where he just kills lions and actual men. He was also in Vice and a few other smaller projects, but honestly, if he is going to be portraying Batman, this is going to be absolutely the biggest thing that he has ever done. Now, he has beat out the likes of people like Alan Ritchson, Jake Gyllenhaal, even Jensen Ackles, who I personally thought was a shoo-in to get this role. But it's being reported that he is going to be making a cameo in the new Clayface movie, which apparently needs its own individual movie. Now, I didn't even know we needed an individual Clayface movie, but I've been wrong before. So where we do lose one iconic Batman, we may be getting another. And to that, I'll cheers. So that's all we have time for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed what has come so far, and I hope you guys are excited for what is to come with some of these new trailers. We'll eventually have like 4 different Batmans in 4 different universes, and we'll have to fight them in a cage to see who is the ultimate Batman. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the take. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time.